Hello folks, it is a beautifully hot, I think it hit 100, post-range Saturday late afternoon. And as I was having my range day, 9mm 45 ACP, I noticed as I was loading my magazine, wow, how did this boo-boo get past me? I'm going to have to talk to the quality control folks. So that's kind of mangly. Not quite sure. And then this, not mangly, but a little extra on the casting. So we will recycle both of these. And I will try and take this opportunity to use real-time my Harvey hand deprimer as opposed to setting up my classic turret press for depriming. We will be reusing all the components, the primer, the powder. I'll see about the bullet once I pop the bullet. And we will be doing that with this. So I will start to get all the goodies out that are going to be necessary for this rather involved task, just because of everything that it takes to get us from point A, this is point A, to point B being a new bullet. All right, so let me find my, it's gonna be a while. We'll do the 9mm. I'll do the 9mm, on camera, and then just cut to the chase for the 45 ACP. So I will pop the bullet, pour the powder in here, deprime live, put this with, obviously, the priming arm and the shell holder for the classic turret press. So again, a whole lot of stuff for, little bit of activity, but that's what you get in the reloading space. So back in a sec. All right, so my turret is in my press along with the shell holder and the priming arm. I have a new unprimed, previously fired casing. I have my goober bullet here, and we will go ahead and take things apart. That's just to shake extra powder out. That is also just to shake any powder out. So the casing looks fine. Then it's going to come down to how mangled is the bullet. So I'm not sure what happened there on this particular bullet. You can see my crimp. That's a solid crimp. Some may say heavy crimp. So I am not going to deprime this. Actually, no, I will, because I need to flare it. And you know what? I'm not going to deprime this one. I will deprime the 45 ACP. Actually, no, I don't know. Let's see. If I put this into the Lee, actually, I will. I have to, because of the way the Lee is designed, in order to have the powder charge actually work. By that I mean flare the case. You actually have to have this installed. So I will put that into my Lee classic turret. We don't need this one because that is the one shot. This is the live prime, so I will flare this. Can't show you online because that's like a major no-no for YouTubers. That's a pretty good flare there. And we'll put the powder back in. Again, we are not showing the construction or the making of a bullet. We are showing parts of making a bullet. Yeah, that just went in really at a weird angle. So I think what we are going to do is toss this bullet. This bullet is not meant to be. Not meant to be. Again, the case looks okay. We'll go back to the LCT. Flare it. Maybe I won't flare it as much. All right, that's a good flare. Actually, you know what? Let me see what that's flared to. I will normally load 9mm on the Dillon. I'm just curious what that flares to. 3.91. I want to say that's actually 3.90. I want to say that's too much. I don't know what my Dillon flares to off the top of my head. I can probably get that info, but yeah, that's more than my Dillon does. But we're going to leave that there. So, this bullet, don't know what to say about that bullet. Don't know how, don't know what, don't know how. That one got by me. So again, that, little bit of powder, and then we'll put that in the seating die. That felt pretty good. Crimp. And we now have what I would call a normal looking bullet. That will go in my bag. That is ready to go. Ready, good. All right, so let's jump over to this one. While I've got you here, let me have a little more coffee. But we need to change. So we will leave this out because that's interchangeable. We will need to change that for 45 ACP. Again, so much easier with the progressive, well, easier is not the right word. The beauty of the classic turret is my ability to do this kind of changeover as quickly as I can. In terms of primer size, that's a number 2. Get rid of the 19. Let's go for the large arm. Get rid of the small. Unfortunately, 45 ACP is way in the back. Way in the back. Okay, way in the back. That's 45 long Colt. And that is 45 ACP. And shame on me for not checking. That's all right. I'm not going to lose sleep because I know that was my Lee factory crimp on my LCT. So that is golden. All right. So we'll set this up. Pop this in the press. Put this in so we can flare the case. We don't need powder on top, but we do need this to flare. Large primer arm. And the number 2 case. All right, so this is 9mm. What I like about this version of the Hornady kinetic bullet puller is, I had the Hornady before this, but it only came with two, didn't have this smaller one, and it didn't have the ability to put anything in the handle as a carrying. So everything was stored in here. Ooh, that's a in there. I'm gonna go to the garage floor. All right, took a little more than my bench mounted solution. Okay, so this looks, I can see what happened here. So this will be easy to reuse. I don't have to get a new piece of brass for that. And because I've never deprimed a live primer in this tool, let me get a little safety precaution going in terms of face shield, because you just don't know. Better to be safe than sorry. Again, if I was doing this on my Lee, I wouldn't sweat it. But I've never done it with a live primer. All right, so that is that, and we are probably, I'm going to push gently, or at least I think I'm going to push gently. And that was the primer. So that worked out really well, in my opinion, as compared to having to get my universal decapping die out and do everything up. Let me recycle. Yeah, this is looking, it's looking not the best. So let me run it through just to see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I'm gonna toss this one. I don't have a shortage of, I don't like how that turned out. So we will grab a new piece of brass. That one's got a little weird shape too. Because I've got my press out and I don't need to recapture this particular primer, I will just resize and let it do its thing. All right, so now we have a nice round circular circle. There's our live primer, which I will put into the priming arm. Prime this puppy. Nice prime. Reuse our powder. And I noticed that my shaving, I don't know where the shaving went because it's not in here. It's not in there. So, where did it go? Because you saw the before. So there should be some, oh, here it is. It's right here. My bad. So, do we reuse this? Is this a bad bullet? That's going to bleed, I bet. Is it worth effing around with this bullet? Not right now online. Maybe I will tinker later offline. So for the sake of finishing this video, we will grab a new bullet. So the only thing we look like we reused is the primer and the powder, the 2 Ps. From a casting point of view, this would be a meltdown, so it's not a loss, same as this. So it's just a question of how do we reuse. All right, I'm going to flare this. Flared. You can see my bullet sits there, not deep, but sits. And now we have a better looking bullet that will, and I'm not going to worry about the size either. We have a better looking bullet that will, and I usually do more 9 than anything, so I'll put that there. We have a better looking bullet that should go bang at the range. Put that back in the handle. Handle back on. Handle back in, case there, everything. Oh, excuse me, got some coffee coming back. Speaking of coffee coming back, let's have some coffee. Love it. All right, so that's good to go. So we didn't need to use this, so that goes back in the recycle. This is going to get thrown away, so as not to mix that up with anything. There's that. And I'll put this in my bullet pile. Actually, I had a bullet right here I probably could have used. But yeah, there's no shortage of collectibles in terms of old bullets. So that's a good one. That goes back in the bag. That will go to the range and go bang. I will put all my goodies away, and this came in very handy. You'll see a video on that too, if you have not already. So let me put all my stuff away. Sometimes it's all the goodies you got to break out just to do a little something something because of what you use and how you use it. Where's my highest point? There we go. Pay attention. Pay attention. Alrighty, folks. That is it. That goes in the garbage, or at least not so much the garbage, but the bag for the range for the next visit, and dump it at the range. And I will now enjoy more coffee. Later.